Hello there. Till now in the tenses series, we have seen present simple tense, present continuous tense, and today we are going to learn about present perfect tense. Well, does present perfect tense scare you a bit or confuse you a bit? That's very natural, because to know this tense you need to know the different forms of verbs first. And to know this tense, you need to have a fair idea of when to use this tense. But don't worry, today in this lesson, we are going to see all the aspects which will clear your doubt. And I'm sure by the end of this, if your concept gets cleared, you'll be able to use this tense very often. So in today's lesson, we are going to learn the concept of present perfect tense, how to use this present perfect tense, when to use this tense, and when not to use this tense. Let's start with today's lesson. To understand the concept of present perfect, let me compare it with the other tenses first. Let's compare it with the present tense, the normal present tense, either continuous or present simple. Now what happens is, present continuous or present simple talks about an action which happens only in the present time, in the present moment. But present perfect talks about an action which has started in past, but the result of that past action is still there in the present moment. Now, present perfect tense is used to express the actions which have just happened. For example, I have just eaten my food. I have just finished my project. I have already taken a bath. Just look at these three examples, which has happened in the past. I have done it. I have finished with that activity. But the result is still can be seen at the present moment. This can also be termed as unfinished time. Now, when I talk about the concept unfinished time, let me compare it with simple past. Now, what is simple past? Simple past expresses an activity which has already happened in past and it is done, it's over. For example, I worked on this project yesterday. But if I change the same sentence and tell you, I have just finished my project. What is the difference between the two? The first one was about an activity which happened long time back. The second one is about an activity which has just happened in near past, just now, just before the present moment. So present perfect tense is like a bridge between past and present, but the result of which will be seen in the present moment even though the activity had started in the past or finished in the past. Now before we go to its format, let us have a look at the verb forms, because when we use present perfect, we need to use the third form of the verb or past participle form of the verb. I'll give you a few examples and tell you how the verbs change in the three main forms which we call as V1, V2, V3. Actually, there are 5 forms: V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. But we won't go till that far. I'll just tell you what does the V3 form or past participle mean and how to find out in the 3 forms of verbs. Now verb forms can be, which are also called as regular verb forms, like walk, walked, walked, laugh, laughed, laughed, talk, talked, talked, tried, tried, etc. So what happens in this category of verb forms is that we just add an ed. An ed is added to the V2 form as well as to the V3 form. Now this V3 form is called as the past participle form. Okay, now there is also a category where the verb changes irregularly. A new word comes up which is totally different from the previous one, like sing, sang, sung, eat, ate, eaten, do, did, done. So what will happen here? Now it is not so easy to say that I can just add ed to the base form, that is the V1 form, and I'll get a past participle there. No. Then to know these forms, verb forms, you have to learn them. So to know any kind of tense, you have to know the accurate verb forms, at least the 3 verb forms. V1, which is in the base form, which is generally used in the present tense. V2, it is the past tense form, and V3 is the past participle form, which is used in perfect tenses with the words has, have and had. Learn the 3 forms of the verbs, because without that your tenses will never be correct. And with this suggestion, let's go to see and check the format of present perfect tense. The format of present perfect tense tells us that first we have to use the subject. After the subject, we have to use has or have, depending on whether the subject is singular or plural. That we'll discuss right now. And after has or have, we have to use the 3rd form of the verb, which is also called as the past participle form. We've just seen the 3 forms of verbs and have a fair idea of how to form verbs in short. Now let's choose one verb out of that, maybe eat. Let's choose the verb eat. What are the 3 forms of eat? Eat, ate, eaten. Now out of the 3 forms, the 3rd form will be used for perfect tenses always, whether it is present perfect or past perfect or future perfect. So you have to keep this in mind, that when the moment you think about the word perfect, then it has to have has, have or had and the past participle or 3rd form of the verb. Let's start analyzing the different categories of these sentences. Let's start with the positive one. Now, as I have already told you that there are 2 categories of subjects, and we will go as per the subject so that you know which subjects fall under singular category and which fall under plural category. Let's start. The subjects like I, you, we and they form under plural category. So for plural subjects, we have the auxiliary verb have, and after helping verb have, we will use the 3rd form of the verb. Now we chose the verb eat, and 3rd form of eat is eaten. So how does our sentence become now? I have eaten, you have eaten, we have eaten, and they have eaten. Now can you see this little thing out here? What is this? This is the contracted form used in present perfect tense. So what do I put here? On the left hand side, we have to put the subject. Like let's say you, then an apostrophe and VE. Together it means you have. Similarly, I can make it as I have or they have. The moment I put this contracted form, it means have. Now look at the next category of subjects. He, she, it and noun. These are the subjects which fall under the singular category. So we will use the auxiliary verb has with these subjects. Like he has. What form of verb will we use? 3rd form. And I'll write here the same verb, eaten. So it will be he has eaten, she has eaten, it has eaten. Now in noun, I can use anybody's name, like Raj has eaten, Shreya has eaten, Tarun has eaten, and so on. Let's move to the negative formation of present perfect tense. All you have to do here is just place a not after have or after has. That's it. It's very easy. So let's make the same thing here. Now the same concept will apply here. Like have will be used for plural subjects like I, you, we, they, and has will be used for he, she, it and somebody's name. Let's try to make sentences. I have not eaten. Now have not can also be written in the contracted form as haven't, and it can also be written as like this, the way I told you just now. So it can be I have not. So there are 3 ways of making it. You can choose whatever suits you. Okay, so next, you haven't eaten. We have not eaten. They haven't eaten. Okay, now let's go to the next category of singular subjects, and we can make sentences like he has not eaten. Has not here can also be written in the contract form like hasn't, or like this apostrophe s and not. Now here I can write he has not eaten. Similarly, she has not eaten, it has not eaten, Raj has not eaten, Shreya has not eaten, Tarun has not eaten. Let's go to the interrogative formation of this tense. And as usual, as we saw in the previous two tenses also, the auxiliary verb will come first, then the subject, and then the verb, the main action verb. Let's start making sentences on this. Have I, and then the third form of the verb. Let's take the same verb and let me write here eaten. Have I eaten? And yes, a question mark because it's an interrogative sentence. Now, if I want to make a negative interrogative, then how do I use? Have I not eaten? Have you not eaten? Now, please make sure that your word not should be after the subject. Whereas in negative, it will be after the auxiliary verb. So, have we eaten? Have they not eaten? Easy to make. Let's go to the next category of subjects. Has he. Now for singular, I'm going to use has he not eaten. Right. So I'll write the verb here eaten in the third form and make a sentence. Has she eaten? Has it eaten? Has Shreya not eaten? Has Tarun not eaten? Has Raj eaten? So these were the formation of the present perfect tenses, and now let's go on to see when to use these tenses. Now let's see what are the situations in which you can use this tense. Like I told you earlier, my first point initially was that we talk about actions which have just finished. Look at the examples here. I have just completed. E3 form, that is the past participle form of the verb. That is complete, complete, completed, completed. It goes like that. Okay, look at the next one. He has done this exercise just now. He has done is the normal format of present perfect, and this word just tells us that the action has just completed. It has just got over. The next one says for past actions where time is not given. Now past actions can also be spoken in terms of simple past, but when we talk about actions in simple past, we generally give a time reference like yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Some sort of time reference is given there. But if we are using present perfect, then we will not give the time reference. The time is not defined there. For example, I have listened to this song, but I don't understand it. Now here, I have listened is already a past action. But when I listen to it, I don't know. I have not given it. They have read this book. Again, they have read this book. The reading of the book is already done, but when? That is not stated. That time reference will be stated in simple past tense, not here. Next, for past actions, the results of which still persist. Now, if you have completed an action and the result of that action is still there in the present moment, then you generally state it in present perfect tense. Like here, he has had a bad dream. Now here you might get confused. How can I write same auxiliary verb twice? Yes, you can write it. Let me tell you how it has been shown here. He is the subject. Has here is the auxiliary verb of perfect. In present perfect we use has, right? But this had is the V3 form which is used as the main action verb. Like he has had. He had a bad dream. or he has had a bad dream. Both are perfectly fine. But when I say he had a bad dream, then it goes in simple past. But when I say he has had, then it comes in present perfect. But if we are talking about this past action, there must be some result which is seen in the present moment right now. What can be the result of bad dream? The boy must be scared. So if that result still persists right now, that he is still afraid because he has had a bad dream, then we can use this kind of tense. Look at the next one. The cattle have grazed in this field. Have grazed. Okay, the action was of grazing still has an effect on the field. What must have happened to the field? The field must have been ruined. There must be no grass in the field. So if that result is still seen in the present moment, then we can use this tense. Look at the last kind of usage. For actions began in past and continues up to the present. Now when we are talking about action that started in past and that action is still true in the present moment, for such expression we need to use two very special words. One is for and the other word is since. Let's first know about these two words and then I tell you what these lines mean. Whenever we use for, now for or since is always used with perfect or perfect continuous tense. For becomes a period of time, whereas since becomes a point of time. Now look at the examples. I have learned is in present perfect. I have learned pottery for 2 years. Now if you see 2 years become a period of time, a duration of time. So for is for duration and since is for starting time. Okay, now look here. This activity of pottery started 2 years back and it is still continuing, and that is why for such activities we need to use these two words. Let's go to the next one. I have stayed in this house. I have stayed. Now look at this. Learnt is the V3 form of learn. Learn, learned, learnt. Okay, and stayed is the V3 form of stay. Stay, stayed, stayed. So I have stayed in this house since 2010. Now here 2010 becomes a point of time in past. That point of time is the starting point of that activity. Now, the last thing to learn in this video is a list of words which are used in the perfect tenses. Now, these words will give you a fair idea of what type of tense it is, and if you are expressing an action, then these words will add some value to your sentence. Have a look at these and I'll make one sentence on each. Just. I have just finished taking a bath. Never. I have never seen this movie. Ever. Have you ever seen a lion in real life? So far. I have not met my uncle so far. Till now. I haven't reached my destination till now. It's been 2 hours. Lately. I have lately read this book and I liked it. Recently. I recently visited that mall. Already. I have already finished the task which was given to me. Yet. I am yet to start an exercise, or I can also use it negatively. Haven't you yet started exercising? Before. I have never seen you before. I'm sorry. Today. I have to complete my work today. This week, month or year. Now why do we say this week? Because this week has started and it has not finished. It is still on. It's continuing. So such expression can also be used in the sentences like, I have to clean my cupboard this week. I have to visit my mom this month. I have to pay my insurance installment this year. Let's look at these sentences now. I have just finished watching the India-Pakistan match. Just have a look at have just finished. Everywhere you'll find the V3 form of the Well, have you ever tasted grilled fish? I have not yet seen the Taj Mahal. I have already learnt French. I have never met you before. So, students, practice makes a man perfect. The more you practice perfect tense, the more perfect you will be in it. I know it's a little bit difficult to use at the first moment, but now that you know how to form it and when to use it, these are the two main things. And which hint words can fit perfectly in a perfect tense will definitely help you use this tense in your spoken or written English. That's all in this video. More in my next video. I'll take present perfect continuous. Wait for that video. I'll come again. See you soon. Goodbye.